want you to picture this. A girl walks into a classroom. She's full of fire, curious, creative, and full of questions. She sees the world in ways no textbook ever could. But instead of being taught how to think, explore, or question, her worth is measured by her test scores, and her success is defined by competition, and not by what she can actually bring to the world. Not by her ideas, not by her potential, and not by who she really is. Now fast forward 15 years. That girl is now an adult, and she's trying to make it in a world that demands emotional intelligence, adaptability, leadership, and purpose. But her education prepared her to take tests, not to live a life. That girl was me. And sadly, this story isn't rare. Our education system is still operating in 1950s, teaching kids about the past instead of preparing them for the future. I've always had big ideas. I've always coloured outside the lines. School didn't know what to do with kids like me. I was labelled distracted, too much, bit of a daydreamer. I wasn't seen, and I wasn't heard. Years later, I'm seeing the same thing happen to my daughter. Another wildly creative, emotionally intelligent, intuitive girl. Told to sit still, stay quiet, and just get on with things. It's then that I realised just how crazily outdated our education system actually is. The truth is brutal. As you can see on the screen, 85% of jobs that will exist in 2030, just 5 years from now, haven't even been invented yet. Student mind health is at crisis levels, and the world is desperate for more leaders, creatives, and problem solvers. But our education is still teaching kids to memorise facts and compete for grades. And with that, we're risking creating high-functioning test takers instead of fully flourishing humans. So, I'm here today to make a change. This is where the new school comes in. The new school is a movement. It's a bold, necessary reinvention of what I believe education should and could be like in 2025 and beyond. It's based on 4 powerful pillars that not only prepare our kids for exams, but we prepare them to live a life in the world we live in today. So, pillar 1, purpose discovery. Our kids are born with gifts, but our education system shoehorns them to fit into boxes instead of encouraging them to explore who they really are, what lights them up, what drives them, what they're actually here for. So at the new school, we don't ask questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? We ask them, what impact do you want to make? What do you love? What lights you up? Imagine if every student got to create their own passion-led project based on what actually lights them up. Imagine if school became a place where purpose and passion was activated instead of buried or paused. Pillar 2, resilience training. Life isn't multiple choice. Mistakes are inevitable. But currently, we're punishing that with behaviour points and negative marks which is leaving our kids afraid to try and afraid to fail. Let's take 12-year-old Jake, for example. Absolutely obsessed with science, but he's a bit of a perfectionist. Builds a bridge in class, but it collapses. Now, at the moment, this would be marked down. But at the new school, we celebrate this collapse. Because now that means Jake gets to retry, rebuild, learn, adapt, and grow. Failing forward becomes part of the curriculum. Because resilience is a muscle, and our kids need to learn how to use it. Pillar 3, real-world learning. Half of the stuff that we're taught at school, we never use again, right? Now, I can't remember, I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I used the circumference of a circle to pay my bills. Don't get me wrong, our histories and our knowledge are still extremely important in some walks of life and some professions. But I believe that that information alone isn't enough anymore. Our kids need to learn how to think critically, collaborate, and create. Imagine a student group getting to create a sustainable garden to tackle food poverty, or come up with a tool that connects homeless people with local job support. We don't need any more information, facts, exams. We need real-world readiness. And pillar 4, future-ready intelligence. We're still running from this old map for a world that no longer exists. Technologies are evolving at lightning speed. Industries are being disrupted overnight. And the problems of tomorrow demand skills that we're not even teaching today. So at the new school, we get our kids thinking about the things that actually shape their future, like AI. Not just what it does or how it works, but what it means for real people. The ethics, the impact, the ripple effect that it'll have on jobs, creativity, and even relationships. We turn our classrooms into innovation hubs, where kids aren't just sat listening, they're doing. Solving real problems, reimagining cities, coming up with tech support for mind health, or solutions for climate change, instead of just writing about it in an exam. That way, we get to raise a generation that is ready for anything. Now, I know what you all might be thinking, but Danielle, I'm not a teacher. I don't run a school. Neither do I. But this is about you, it's about me, and it's about what we can do together. It's about you if you're a parent, because this is your kid's future. This is about you if you're a business owner, because this is your next generation of employees. This is about you if you're a policymaker, because now you get to back something that actually works. This is about what all of us can do together to make a change. Do you know what the best thing is? We don't have to wait for the government to catch up. So this is what I suggest we do. If you're a parent, ask your kid's school for more experimental learning. If you're a teacher, sneak in more purpose-driven projects and permission to fail. If you're a leader, stop hiring just for degrees and start hiring for emotional intelligence and creativity. And if you're a student, demand to be seen and demand to be heard. Now, what's amazing is there are already some teachers, schools, and educating bodies around the world that are doing some of these fantastic things. This is not a dig at the wonderful teachers that are working tirelessly in a system that is no longer fit for purpose. The new school isn't here to tear down the current education system. I'm here to talk about what's next. Because I believe if all of us together made a more conscious effort to make more space for forward thinking, creativity, and innovation, the world would be a happier place. We cannot keep preparing our kids for a world that no longer exists. We cannot keep treating humans like machines on a production line. And we don't need any more A-star students that hate their lives. We need whole humans with heart, with creativity, and with the courage to change things. So I want you to imagine this. A child is asked, what makes you come alive? And without freezing, without shrinking, they look you square in the eye, fire in their belly, and they say this, because this is who I am. And that is the new school movement. Thank you.